So I'll get started here, and thank you all for joining. And certainly, as we go through, if you do have any questions, please submit them in the chat. And if I don't answer them as we go through, I'll be sure to answer them at the end here as well. So if you have any questions, just keep them coming in here. This demo is to show you the new investor dashboard, and we've built this as a way to allow you to keep up to date with the investments that you've made through FrontFundr as much as possible. And it's great for you to see how your portfolio is doing, see how the companies that you care about are doing as well. And then for the companies as well, they have a huge incentive to keep you up to date and engage with you so that they can set you up as the most effective brand champions for them. And so we really hope that this spurs more conversation and more interaction with the companies that you've invested in. So I'll jump into the demo, and you should all be able to see my screen by now here. But basically, to start things off, we have a new navigation bar where you're able to see your investments in progress, completed, and following. We're also, we've moved the settings here as well. And this is where I want to start with this demo, is with the settings and the new email preferences that we've created with the new investor dashboard. So with the email preferences here, the couple of new ones that we've added are for post-raise company updates and mandatory shareholder updates. Now, with the post-raise company updates, these will be for companies coming back to share news about their company, about new financing events, even Google alerts that pop up about their company or industry. And we, with this, are also sending a summary email once a month. So to keep it as consolidated as possible and not inundate you with tons of emails, we are going to send that summary email out at the beginning of each month. And we'll give you kind of an update on the companies that you've invested in and any updates that they've provided, and then links to access them through the platform here. And then the other one here is for mandatory shareholder updates. The one thing to note with this is this cannot be turned off. You'll see the notification in the top right here. You're not able to turn these notifications off. That is because these are for if the company is required by law to send you certain updates. For example, an invitation to the annual general meeting, or to send you a proxy for that, or anything like that. So you have complete control over your email preferences other than the mandatory ones here. And so that gives you a little bit of an insight to the new email preferences that we have. When it comes to the investments, I want to go to in progress here first. Now, I've got a number in here because I want to show you a lot of different situations. But with this new dashboard, you have all of the investments that you have in progress here. I'm going to go through some of the items that you have here. So obviously, the first thing is the closing date that we have here. So knowing exactly when you have until to complete this investment, the amount that you've invested or have proposed, and then the quantity of the securities here. Now you'll see there's a number of different types of securities. We want to use this opportunity to educate everyone about the different securities if you're unfamiliar with them. So if you do see any items that are underlined, this will mean that you can click on them. An overlay will appear to show you the definition of these securities here. So you can see, you can click outside, click onto the definition here and see that overlay. Apologize for the background noise there. The next things I want to touch on are these different statuses that we have here. So you'll see in this first one, we have pending. So we are reviewing your investment. If you click on this, it'll tell you that we are conducting a mandatory suitability assessment on your investment. If we have any questions, we'll contact you via phone or email. And then once completed, the investment documents will be sent to you to sign electronically. So each of these buttons you can also click on, and it will either take you back into the process or it will give you a bit more information here. So pending is one that we have for if you've done everything that you need to do. It's now with us for this particular situation. We have a complete profile here. So this one will take you right back into the investment process. Here, I've completed my investment documents. I've selected to pay offline here. And so my balance due is the total amount. If you made a partial payment, this would be updated here. You can resend the instructions to yourself. You can change the payment method. That will take you back in to select a different payment method. And obviously sign documents. Try to make it as self-explanatory as possible, but if there's ever needed a little bit of definition, we'll add it below here. So please sign the investment documents for this one. And then the final one I want to show you at the bottom here is the pending when everything is completed, but we're just waiting for the close and pending acceptance by the company. So if you click on this one, it'll let you know that you've completed all the steps for your investment and it is now pending acceptance by the company, which will occur at the close of the campaign. So this gives you a bit of insight into the progress, the companies or investments that you have in progress. We also have an update section at the bottom here that will give you updates for the investments you have in progress. It'll order these by the most recent updates. And if there are ones that you haven't yet seen, there'll be a little notification number in the top left of the card here, and it'll show you that there are new updates you may not have seen at this time. So if you click onto one of these cards, it will take you into the updates for this company here. And you'll be able to see that there are a number of different cards here where you can click on and get even more information about them. You can also filter for these updates by looking for all of them, looking for just news, looking for, let's go to events. There's none for this one at this time. I'll go back to news for them. I do want to show you. Let's go to PKA, see if they have any events here. So you can see that they update to the different types of updates that they're providing here. We'll go back to news. We'll click on the first one here. You'll see that it'll give you the update. We know that it's a news update from the top right and gives you that overview of the update here. So you can click outside to close this, but these are just for the updates of companies that you have in progress. When we come to the completed investments, this is a little bit more information about the companies that you have invested in and getting an update on those investments. So we have summary bubbles in the top of the page here. And first being that you have 2 private investments. The book value is the amount that you paid for these investments. The current value is the current implied value of these investments if they're still private. Obviously, if a company does a financing round after they've done one through FrontFundr, it will potentially change the valuation of the company, at which point they will provide that update, and it will update on our end here as well with that update. I'll show you that in a moment here. But again, with these, we have them underlined, so you can click on them to get a little bit of a definition about the different terminology that we're using here. And then you see the completed investments here. Now we've got the investment amount, the quantity, just like we had on the in progress one. But here, as well as the close date or the settlement date for this investment, we also have a status for this investment. If you click on this, it will give you a bit more information about the status of your investment here. Currently, the 2 demo investments that I have are both private. The other options for these statuses are acquired and public. And you would have a definition for each of those as well. Something I'd like to highlight for you here is the current value. So you'll see with the test company LTD that I invested $1,000 and the current value is $1,000. So there hasn't been any financial update to let me know that it has increased or decreased in value since I invested. Whereas if we look at the demo company here, I invested $1,500 and it is now a current value of $3,000. So click on it will give you a bit of information saying that this is an implied value and that it's based on the information that the company has provided. But we also want you to see the information about that financial update. So you can see that nothing has changed with this one. So the $ here is gray. With this one, it's orange. So if I click on that, it's going to open up the financing update for this. And you'll see that it's got the new price per security, it's got the company valuation, and the update about this change in valuation. That way, you're able to see that see when and how the value of your investment has changed here. Another thing to mention with this, so this is going to be all of the investments that you've made in through FrontFundr, I should say. And we have a download Excel file at the bottom here. And if you click on this, it's going to download a ledger of your portfolio. And this is something that you can keep for your records. You can always come back and get this at any time, and it will just continue to update as you make more investments. I'll show you what it looks like really quickly here. I'll open it up for you. Take half a second here, and you'll see that we've got that information here. So your account number, your address, email, the total amount of investments, all those sorts of things for your investment portfolio here. And then we have the updates for companies you've invested in. You'll see that we only have the demo company here. The test company Ltd does not have any updates that it's sent out yet, so that doesn't show here. It'll always update with updates if they come through for these investments here. And then if you'd like to get a little bit more information about these investments, you can click on details here. If you click on details, this is going to give you a bit more information. You've got security type, the price, the current value, the current price per security, the book value, current value, and a gain or loss if there is one, as well as having the definitions with the underlines here. We also have these question bubbles. I'm sure you've seen them throughout the website as well, but clicking on these will just give you a little bit more of a definition about the different terminology that we're using here as well. And then we do have a couple of other things at the top here. So the company status, same as we had on the other page, this is going to update to, it's going to be private until it updates to either acquired or public if the company does get acquired or goes public. And also we want to touch on the contact information for this investment. So if you ever have any questions about your investment, once you've invested through FrontFundr, generally the company is going to have the best answers for you. If you want an update or even to reach out to them to lend your support, you can reach them via email, through their website generally, or their phone number as well. And so this gives you the ability to have a direct contact with the companies that you've invested in. Of course, if you have questions for FrontFundr or you don't hear back from the company right away, you can always reach out to us as well. We're happy to reach out to the company on your behalf, or if we have the answers, give them to you as well. And you can do that by reaching out via email to support@frontfundr.com. We do have the handy chat feature in the bottom right here of every page where you can come and have a conversation with us. We also have the download Excel for this specific company as well. So the one on the completed page is for all of the investments you've made through FrontFundr, whereas this one will be specifically for this one company. And then the updates, if there were any, like I said before with the test company Ltd, there are no updates, so it shows no updates, but they would all be ordered here chronologically for you. The last area I will show you just before we get to any questions is the following tab. So if you are following any investments, you can always come here and see the companies that you're following. We have the updates for each one of the companies that you're following as well. So again, if you want to check in, see what updates there are, if there were any new ones, there would be a notification bubble in the top left of the card. You can click in and, like I've shown you before, click further to get more information about these updates. And I think that's just about everything I wanted to show you. Of course, the settings is another place to access your settings here, but I do want to get to some of the questions that we've had coming through here. And so quick question. There will be a recording of this. We're going to post it to our YouTube channel. So if you have others that you want to share this with, or you want a refresher, you can always check our YouTube channel there. And of course, I'm sorry, next question I'm going to check here is who should I talk to? So yeah, again, if you have any questions, definitely reach out to the company through going to completed, then going to the details for this company, and then clicking on the contact information for that company, or reaching out to us. We're always happy to help you as well. And another question that we have here is, when is the next update planned for the FrontFundr platform? So we're always doing sort of tweaks here and there, doing updates to the platform all the time. So generally we'll do a few pushes, or maybe one push per month. But if you have any feedback that you have for features you'd like to see, or things you'd like to see improved, we're all ears. Please reach out to us through the chat feature in the bottom right here. That'll come through to our investor support team, and they'll pass that information along to our development and product management team. And certainly we're building this platform for you guys to really get the most out of investing in the private markets. And so all feedback is very much welcome. Got another question here. How often do most companies send investors updates? Great question. Now, this is something that we really promote to companies as for their benefit. I mentioned at the beginning that if they stay engaged with their shareholders, they really set them up as being the most effective brand champions to share those updates, share those successes throughout their network. And so it's really in the best interest for companies to send updates. What we usually see is that companies that are really on it will be sending a monthly newsletter at least, or a monthly update to their shareholders. Those that are less sort of on it would be sending updates on a quarterly basis. That's generally what we see. Of course, we can't force them to send updates. We want to make it as easy as we can for them as well. So we've actually we've created a Google alert update as well that gets sent through to the issuer. And if it's something that they think is applicable to their shareholders or could help sort of engage, then they're able to approve those as well. So it gives you even more information about that company or their industry. So we're always looking for ways to sort of help companies give these updates, because it's really in their best interest. Don't see any other questions right now. Does anyone have any? I'll certainly stay on till the end of the half hour that we've booked here. But I hope this has helped sort of introduce you to the investor dashboard. In fact, I just realized there's one thing that I can show you as well, because it's really important that you have all of the documents and all of the information about your investments whenever you need them. And so we do have this icon here with the paperclip. This will give you the downloads that are attached to this investment. So the payment summary, the trade confirmation, share certificate, investment documents, you can download each one of these from here. And that's again in the completed tab under the details for each specific company. So I'll go back again and just show you here. So we have the in progress, we have the completed, and then with each of those completed, to go into that specific company, you can click on details here as well. And then you can get that download for the investments you've made in this specific company. Some of you may have multiple investments in the same company. Over time, they do continuous, or they do subsequent raises. And so you may have multiple investments here, and then that will give you that download for all of these. And then you'll be able to download the specific documents for each of those investments from here as well. So we have another question here. So can this dashboard be integrated into another platform, white labeled, etc.? So this is not something that we've explored at this time. We're open and certainly willing to listen to any ideas that you have for potentially white labeling this, but at this time, this is something we've built purely for FrontFundr investors, and just trying to make the private markets as accessible and easy to navigate as possible. And this is a step in that direction here. So thank you very much for your question, and thank you all for your questions as well. Keep them coming for the next sort of 9 minutes, but yeah. and appreciate the feedback as well. Like I said, if you have positive, negative, whatever it is, we want to hear it. Again, we're making this for you, and so appreciate the kind words, Robin. It certainly means a lot to us. I'll pass it along to our team, and yeah, a lot of thought and work has gone into this, and I think that it really does make it that much easier to stay up to date, engage with the companies that you've invested in, and show your support. So use this, reach out to companies, urge them to send you updates if you're not hearing from them, and also let us know as well. If there's a company that you haven't heard from for a while, we're reaching out to them on a continuous basis to make sure that we're staying up to date ourselves, but also to make sure that they're staying up to date with their investors. So let us know if you haven't heard from anyone, and we'll reach out immediately, talk to them, see if we can find ways to make it easier for them to send updates as well.